Welcome to Seemingly Nobodies. Hopefully, you can hear it is pouring rain in Miami, Florida. Hi, my name is Rebekah Ketcham. I go by Becky quite often. Becky with the good hair. I am a hairdresser here in Miami, Florida. I have my own little space. And I've decided to create Seemingly Nobodies, unsung heroes. Everyone has a story. So I finally came up with my first episode's topic. I am reading a book right now by Napoleon Hill. He's an author from the 1930s era, and he has a great perspective, very, very captivating author. And I'm reading Think and Grow Rich, which is a very popular book. Maybe you've heard of it. And yeah, so I'm trying to figure out how to grow them finances during these tough times, just a millennial out here trying to survive heavy inflation. So I'm doing my due diligence in reading this book, and I almost finished with it, and I came across, thunder. I came across a chapter that really struck a chord with me, and it is on the topic of definiteness of purpose. Definiteness, kind of a strange word, but definiteness of purpose. And so the concepts behind this book are written so that the reader can pursue a life of success. And success seems so ethereal and intangible sometimes, to me at least. Like it's just all about luck or happenstance. But, as any self-help book does, it's giving you applicable steps to put into action to hopefully achieve some type of goal, right? So definiteness of purpose is the beginning of, thunder. It's the beginning of a plan to put into action to succeed and reach a goal. Oh my gosh, it's really coming down. It's summertime. Okay, so that's the first step in reaching any goal. Definiteness of purpose. Having a purpose. And he makes it seem a little bit easy in the book to identify this. I don't think it's always so easy. I know it's not. And I witnessed a lot of friends and clients and people in my life go through a lot of struggle with this. And now I'm having my own conflict. And I have an anecdote about my subconscious path that I took basically as a preteen, knowing that I wanted to do hair and having my purpose figured out from the jump, seemingly from the jump. That was nice in retrospect. I didn't know that that's what was happening, but that's just the way things played out for me in my life thus far. So I knew since I was a teenager. I hope you can hear me over this. This is like my first episode, so I don't know. I hope you can hear me over this rain. Maybe it's adding to it. We'll see. I knew from an early age that I wanted to do hair. I knew that's what I wanted. I attribute some of this sense of direction to going through an immense tragedy when I was 11. Not to trauma dump on you this first time I'm talking, but, it's my story. So I lost 4 members of my family, and they died in a plane crash when I was 11. My 2 cousins, my aunt, and my uncle. And I'm an only child, so my cousins were my closest thing I had to siblings. And as you can imagine, it devastated my family, and it was a very intense way to be brought into the world. I was only 11, so this was my whole concept of life had kind of shifted, right? I understood then the fragility of life from such an early age. So I don't know. All to say, subconsciously, I think that made me be more direct. And what can we do with our pain if we can't use it as perception, right? So I had other struggles too, a lot of other things that I was dealing with as a teenager after that. Oh my gosh, it's really coming down. I hope this is going to be audible. I don't know, we'll see. So I had a lot of other struggles as a teenager, and you know what? I just hated school. I thought it was so stupid. I thought school was really annoying and stupid. And I just couldn't be bothered with academics. I felt like the whole thing was really bureaucratic and unfair. I think it's an unfair, and I stand by this. I'm somewhat proud of being such a rebel, because it is kind of strange that we all are put into this system that a lot of us don't question. And not only do we not question it, we let it define who we are and what our capabilities are as people and society. And I'm not knocking education altogether. I did go on and go to college. I got my associate's degree in business later on after I started doing hair. And I think there's amazing enrichment in education, but it's just not for everyone. And it's really unfortunate that everyone has to be scrutinized under this system. So anyway, I couldn't stand it, and I figured out that I wanted to be in the beauty industry early on. I went to my 8th grade social. I remember it very vividly. It's the first time I ever curled my hair. I used a Mary Kate and Ashley curling iron that had this little rod on it that kind of helped guide you, like training wheel curling iron, which was very appropriate for me at the time. And I used it for the first time for my 8th grade dance, and I had this makeup artist, family friend who I admired come over and do my makeup for the first time. And it was the first time I ever felt really beautiful, and I felt powerful in that moment and feeling beautiful. And I put on this little silver Y2K number, and off I went to the 8th grade social. And then from then on, like, you couldn't stop me with this Mary Kate and Ashley curling iron. I used it throughout high school. I did all my friends' hair when we would go out. I had an amazing group of girlfriends that I'm still close with to this day in my 30s. And they let me practice and do all these styles. And I did everybody's hair for prom. And it ended up being a thing. Like, I started doing girls' hair in like my rival high school for their prom. I did my friend's mom's hair for her wedding my senior year. Like, I was on one. I just knew it. I would give haircuts. I would do color. I didn't know what I was doing, but I always tell people it's visual. You know, if people want to cut their own hair here and there and do things, it's visual. You just look at it, feel it out. And I loved it. I knew, and I went right away to hair school after high school. Didn't even graduate. I did finish high school. I didn't drop out. I like to make that distinction. I did finish. I just didn't graduate. I didn't get to walk the stage, whatever you call it. I don't know. I wasn't there. It was embarrassing. It's okay. It's shame. A lot of shame in high school. You know, we all have to go through that, like, whole shame spiral. You know, learning how to fit into society. That was tough. But whatever, you know. I got my GED and I went to the Aveda Institute of Chapel Hill up in North Carolina and ended up living with my grandparents during that time. And that's a whole journey in and of itself. But yeah, I was 18 and that's what I did. And I was really hell-bent on this hair thing my whole 20s, and I'm still doing it. I love it. It's part of me. It's, you only want me when I'm not there. You better call Becky with the good hair. Yeah, I mean, it's totally my identity. And I love it, and I've been very grateful for it, and I've overcome a lot of self-doubt with it, which is a big part of Think and Grow Rich, is learning how to quiet the narratives in our minds that are so malicious and try to tear us down and get us to stop whatever we're pursuing, or even, obstacles, real obstacles. I've had so many days where I wanted to quit and I didn't want to deal with people like that anymore on that level, and I failed at something that I tried, or I learned the hard way. But you just get up and you keep going. And all the while that I've been doing hair 12 years, it's not lost on me that I had this path figured out while other friends and peers really struggled to find their purpose. I did feel fortunate that at least I had that figured out. Woo! I don't know if you can hear this thunder, but it's coming down. So at least I had that figured out. And I felt comfort in that. But guess what? I want this podcast to be all about relatability. Guess what? I turned 30 and I wanted more. I almost have this postgraduate, what am I doing with myself vibe going on. Like, what's next? And that's a scary place to be. So I am realizing, I think my aha moment, as Oprah would say, is this definiteness of purpose. What's my next purpose? And how do I identify that? And then thus make a plan and persist. Persisting is really the tricky part. Just keep going. So here I am. I feel like I have wanted to use my voice. I love consuming content. I love that we're in this information era where we get so much knowledge and entertainment and perspective from all types of walks of life. I think that that's so incredible. I just feel like there's something kind of missing in the space of being more relatable, and a lot of content that I consume, that though it's been helpful, has come from this kind of pedestal energy where everyone's an expert and everyone's kind of already got it figured out. And I just think that there are so many topics, really just generally any topic is interesting to discuss and kind of figure out together, like finances. I've been really focused on my finances in 2023 and getting out of debt, and I don't have it figured out. And I'm looking for a lot of information about that. And a lot of people that talk about that have it figured out already. But what about the people that don't? I know a lot of us don't have it figured out. Let's talk about figuring it out real time. Or relationships. I'm going to bring my boyfriend Josh on here as much as he'll participate. And modern relationships. That's such an interesting topic. We all love talking about that. And, figuring out how to navigate a relationship, a monogamous relationship in a modern era, what that's about, what that's like. I also could go on for days about being single. I was single most of my 20s and so had so many struggles and revelations, and I'm ultimately very grateful for that time. And but I know that that's a hard place to be. I can definitely relate to that. And yeah, and then and then you get the relationship, and then you have to maintain it. That's a lot of work. And the male perspective and the male and female dynamic, I think that's something I'm missing seeing sometimes. It's a lot of like what men think, what women think, but like what about what we think about each other and how we interact with each other? I don't know. There's so many things you could just go on and on, hence seemingly nobodies. So here I am. Hopefully I can get all of this stuff edited together, the video, the audio, the whole thing. And we can figure this out and just put it out into the ethers so I can put it into action. Definiteness of purpose. Something to chew on. Thank you if you've listened this far, and I look forward to speaking to you again. Bye.